Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Thursday, September the 4th. This will be our chart lesson for today. I'm really late getting this done. I apologize. Um, but let's go over it real quick, and it's almost 8 o'clock. I want to get this uploaded pretty quick and call it a day. Um, but the big thing is it was mostly a trading range day while I was here with not much going on, and the really good stuff didn't happen until late after. It really started. I'd say the downtrend, this is when you really knew the downtrend started, but you knew you had a pretty good downtrend going here, regardless. There's a short term one in here. You see that smaller line there. You can kind of see that shorter term one. Then you had your break and new low, a little bit of a correction. Looked like prices were trying to bounce off the low of the range again, but then they broke through and gave you a little second entry short, and boom, off it went. So um, there's a couple areas here that were real tricky. I think you're better off just to stay out of those. The reason they're marked like that. Let me show you the first trade I saw this morning. You had a big move up, and so you're looking, generally when you get a move like that, you're probably going to get another leg up. So I would be looking once it started higher right there. We didn't quite get there, and that's telling in itself. Once you don't get there, that's close enough to probably call it a measured move, but generally if you don't get there, that means you may move a good bit in the other direction. But that's so close that, you really can't garner that thought process from that. I think you'd be pushing the envelope, but it does, it is a little bit telling that we didn't make it. We missed it by, let's just see what we missed it by. The target was 2011 and a quarter, and we only got to 22. So we missed it by about 5 ticks. So that's, we still missed it. So that's the bottom line. But anyway, we're working higher. We got that first leg up. So when we started up, you're looking for a measured move here. You had your break, a move to a new high. This was a little tricky. This is one where I would have either waited on this bar or I would have waited on it to break higher and then dropped a limit order in here. And you could have gotten filled uh, at least to here, but I believe another tick back you would have gotten filled as well. Then it goes higher. I don't think you want to go long right there. It's too close to that high. You might just push up for 1 or 2 ticks higher for your new high, and then that's it. And that's pretty much what happened. And then you get a little trend working down. You already got a little, somewhat of a double bottom, and you get that little break lower, but it doesn't close high. But you do get your break, move to a new low. This is where it really got tricky. There's just too many dojis and overlapping bars. It would have been real tempting to go short there on that breakout pullback short, but you've already had your break. It's real close, but you've had it, and you've got a new low. And notice how we're not going we didn't go very far there, but you don't really get a good bullish bar till here, and then by that time again, you've still got all that. That's just too congestive, and it's risky going, entering short or long into that. So you're better just to sit tight, and then notice it gets a little bullish here, pulls back, tests that support area, and then takes off. That's where you want to get long. Nice, easy move up. Um, this one I didn't like because it's so close to that high again. You don't know that it's not going to turn down. It looks like it would have worked. You might draw that one green. There is a failed second entry short, but it's just so close to that triple top right there that it's really risky. And you see what it did. It trapped people and pulled back and then went higher. This is like a little two-legged pullback. There's a second entry long, but again, you're right into that stuff. I think you're better off just to sit. And then I meant to actually circle this one in green right here. I think that it's one, if you want to be aggressive, you're probably going to take that trade right there. Notice that you got a new high pullback first entry. There's really a second entry long there, but that's like a little two-legged correction. So you're probably going to get a measured move back, and then it bounces and it shoots up to a new high. And so if you entered there, you definitely want to try to enter as close to that little double bottom as you can. I would have really liked it better if it would have broke lower and then turned up, but it didn't. And then you get a little bullish bar. So you still got a chance to get in on a limit order at the same place when it broke above that bar. But it got a few extra ticks, and then notice that double top. It breaks higher, turns down. Look how bearish that is. I like that for a short. and then you're moving back down, I'd look to exit right in here. If you had held this one, you could have ridden it all the way to the bottom, but the smart play is to exit here. And then you might have even thought about this as a breakout pullback short. I think it was a little risky. I was hoping maybe we'd get a little failed second entry long, and you don't get that till right here, and it's too late then. Again, this should actually be drawn. Again, it gets real congestive right there, and but notice the new low. You got a first entry long, pullback, second entry long, it fails. I liked that one to the short side. That's the first break of this little short-term trend line. Quick, easy move down. And then you get a repeat pattern right there. But this one, again, is really close to those lows where you've been bouncing. So I think you have to try to get in with a limit order, get a little bit. It didn't matter where you entered, it would have worked. But I believe that you're better off to try to get in a little bit closer to that double top. What I was really hoping was it break above that bar and then turn down, and then that would have been a little more tempting because you would have had a failed second entry long. But you don't get your failed second entry long till here. Notice the new first entry, pullback, second entry. But if you're counting off that high, it's a pullback first entry, pullback. So your second entry long is right there, and it turns down right off that trend line, and you get a big bearish bar. You really could have entered below that bar, but if you did, you want to use a limit order. Once you saw this next bearish bar, I think it's okay to enter right there because that's where the downtrend really starts. And you can count this as a new high basically. So first entry, pull back. There's a second entry long there that fails. So it's like a failed second entry long, but I don't like that one right into that. And at that point, you didn't know for sure if this wasn't over here like so. I believe it turned out that you got a midline there. So entering on that one's really risky. But when it comes back over here, right off that trend line, and you could have easily had that off the lows and matched it out. You could have really had it off the highs as well, but oops. But definitely you want to have it off those lows, and you just drag it over, and it turns down again right there. I like that one, and off it goes. And then you could almost count this. Well, okay, sorry, I had an interruption. I forgot where we were at. I think we were talking about this trade right here. Since this is where the downtrend started, you could almost count this as a new high. It's a little complicated, but you pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So it's like a failed second entry short. You would have had your trend line right there anyway. But notice that bar right there. It's not the best bar, so you might have waited on this one and waited on it to break lower, but you've really had a big move by the end. So you probably want to get back. I actually like waiting on the break below that and then dropping a limit order and see if it'll come back for you. Then it breaks below the midline, pulls back, and takes off again, right off the midline, right off the trend line. And then I think it's too risky entering down here. You weren't down to the other sides, but notice how that's all stacked up. It's a failed second entry long. So yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and circle that one in green, because if you're being aggressive, there's probably some people that would want to take that trade. I think it's a little risky, but you aren't down to the other side yet on your measured move, and you know you're probably going to get one. That's generally what happens. So, and you see that's right where it bounced. So you're looking for that as a target, and that was really the last. That's right into the two. And that's late in the day too. That's after 2 o'clock. So that one's really aggressive, especially with all the congestion right there. But I'm sure it trapped longs both times. People trying to pick bottoms, and you see, and then they had to all, and you see how fast it drops down. They had to all exit, and then it bounces. And so that's generally what happens to people. So that's what I saw today. Pretty good trend this afternoon. Really started late morning, but I would say the downtrend really didn't start till right here. This was still just moving back to the other side of the range. You had the little failed break higher. This is what I'm calling the range in here, and this was kind of a little failed break higher that tried to go higher several times and trapped people, and then it turns down. And really these highs here were still left over from yesterday. You can see that. So that's something to be aware of. The 2009, 2010, and you can see that's right across here. So that would be somewhere to look for some strong resistance. And then you come down here and it tries to get a little bounce, you just can't do it, and then the sell-off starts. And so we're still swinging both sides of 2,000. And again, we close right at 2,000, almost unchanged, maybe 2 points for the day. So, I mean, when you're going to end up having a day that there's almost no change, but you get this much movement, you can't complain, really, as a day trader. So I hate I'm missing out on some of this because I'm not able to trade but a couple hours this week due to some personal issues. But and also I'll probably be a little slow answering emails still. I'm only answering them one time a day, late in the evening. Hopefully next week I'll be back to normal. Definitely by Tuesday or Wednesday I will be. Monday might still be a little bit hectic for me, but I should be back to normal by Tuesday or Wednesday and through with my personal business that I'm having to take care of this week during the day. But I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope you had a great trading day. There were some good trades here, pretty straightforward. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow, though. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.